Let me ask you something. What do you do with your first 10 minutes each morning? For most people, those moments are a blur, checking phones, rushing out of bed, or thinking about everything that's already stressing them out. But what if I told you that just 10 focused minutes in the morning could transform your entire life? 10 minutes isn't much. It's less than 1% of your day, yet, if used with intention, it can set the tone for everything that follows. Imagine starting each day not with chaos, but with calm, clarity, and purpose. In our fast, paced modern lives, it's all too easy to wake up and immediately jump into stress mode, grabbing our phones, scrolling through emails, or mentally running through the day's to-do list. But what many people don't realize is that the state you wake up in sets the emotional tone for your entire day. This is where the power of mindful breathing or meditation comes into play. It's one of the simplest, most accessible tools we have to reclaim control over our minds and bodies before the chaos of the world begins to influence us. Mindful breathing is exactly what it sounds like, bringing your full attention to your breath without trying to change or manipulate it. It's about becoming aware of the inhale and the exhale, feeling the rise and fall of your chest, and anchoring yourself in the present moment. Even just 2 or 3 minutes of this practice in the morning can activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the body, lowers stress hormones, and promotes a sense of balance. It shifts your physiology from fight or flight to rest and restore. For those who feel meditation is too spiritual or too abstract, it's important to understand that this practice is rooted in science as much as in tradition. Research shows that regular mindful breathing reduces anxiety, improves focus, and even alters brain structure over time, specifically areas linked to emotional regulation and self-awareness. In other words, it doesn't just make you feel better in the moment, it builds long-term mental resilience and emotional intelligence. Morning meditation or breathing exercises are especially impactful because your brain is highly impressionable in the first minutes after waking up. This is a precious window where your subconscious is most receptive. When you begin the day with intentional stillness, you're essentially programming your nervous system to handle stress better, stay present, and be less reactive throughout the day. It's like giving your brain a clean, calm slate before anything else colors your mood or mindset. Another powerful aspect of mindful breathing is that it requires nothing external. You don't need an app, a mat, or a perfectly silent space. You don't need to be an expert. All it takes is a willingness to pause and a few undisturbed minutes. You could sit on the edge of your bed, on the floor, or even stay lying down. What matters is the awareness you bring to the present moment. This practice helps create space between you and your thoughts, giving you a moment to just be before you start to do. People often underestimate the compounding power of small daily actions. Doing 5 minutes of breathing today may not feel revolutionary, but over a week, a month, or a year, it creates a baseline of peace and clarity that spills over into every area of your life. It helps you make decisions more calmly, respond instead of react, and stay grounded even in stressful situations. What seems like a small habit becomes a cornerstone for emotional health and inner strength. Moreover, mindful breathing reconnects us with our bodies, something that's often neglected in the hustle of daily life. We spend so much time living in our heads, planning ahead or ruminating on the past, that we forget we're living organisms who need connection to our breath, our physical self, and the present. This awareness brings a subtle but powerful shift. Instead of waking up feeling rushed or scattered, you feel centered, aware, and more in control. Ultimately, morning mindful breathing is a gentle reminder that you don't have to chase peace throughout the day. You can start with it. Before the demands, emails, conversations, and distractions begin, you have a moment of stillness that is yours and yours alone. It's in this silence that clarity arises, energy is grounded, and intention is formed. That first deep breath in the morning is not just oxygen, it's the beginning of your day's foundation. Waking up in the morning without a clear sense of direction is like getting into a car without knowing your destination. You may end up somewhere, but it likely won't be where you truly want to go. That's the difference setting intentions can make. When you take a few minutes each morning to decide how you want to feel, what you want to accomplish, and how you want to show up in the world, you give your day shape, focus, and meaning. This simple act doesn't require any grand effort. It's about grounding yourself in clarity before the distractions of the day begin. An intention is different from a goal. While goals are future-oriented and outcome-driven, intentions are present, focused. They speak to who you want to be and how you want to navigate your day. For example, an intention might be, today, I intend to remain calm under pressure, or I intend to listen more and judge less. These are not tasks to check off. They are reminders that shape your behavior, mindset, and energy. Setting intentions in the morning is like tuning an instrument before a concert. It ensures that everything that follows is in alignment. The power of a clear intention lies in its ability to influence how you perceive and react to the world around you. Without one, you're more likely to be swept up by the energy of others, external stressors, or emotional triggers. But with a clear intention, you have a compass. It doesn't mean your day will go perfectly. It means you'll be more prepared to handle it with grace. When a challenge arises, instead of reacting impulsively, your intention serves as a touchstone. I intended to be patient today. Let me take a breath before responding. There's also a psychological benefit to stating your intention aloud or writing it down. When you do, you engage both your conscious and subconscious mind, signaling that this is important. This small ritual of bringing your intention into the physical world strengthens your commitment to it. It doesn't need to be a full journal entry. Even jotting down one sentence in a notebook, or saying it to yourself in the mirror, can powerfully reinforce your mindset for the day ahead. Intention setting also cultivates self-awareness. It requires you to pause and ask, what do I actually need today? Maybe yesterday was overwhelming, and today your intention is to slow down and protect your energy. Or perhaps you've been distracted lately, and you want to focus more deeply. By checking in with yourself each morning, you create a habit of self-reflection and emotional honesty. You're no longer living on autopilot. You're participating in your life with awareness. What's beautiful about this practice is its flexibility. Some days your intention might be deeply emotional or spiritual. Other days it might be straightforward and practical. There's no right or wrong kind. The goal is simply to live by design, not default. Instead of reacting to whatever the world throws at you, you're choosing how to show up, no matter what. Over time, this habit builds a sense of internal consistency. You begin to trust yourself more because you're showing up for yourself each day with purpose. In a world filled with distractions, setting a morning intention is a quiet act of power. It says, I choose how I move through this day. It gives you control over the one thing you can always influence, your own mindset and actions. And that control, even when external circumstances are chaotic, is profoundly liberating. It turns ordinary mornings into opportunities for clarity, empowerment, and presence. Ultimately, intentions are like seeds. When planted each morning, they don't always bloom immediately, but over time they shape the landscape of your life. A person who begins each day with the intention to be kind will naturally become more compassionate. Someone who commits to being focused will steadily build deeper concentration. The transformation is subtle at first, but consistent intention carves new habits, rewires your mind, and aligns your life with your values, one morning at a time. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's a powerful shift in perspective. When practiced intentionally, especially first thing in the morning, it has the ability to reframe your entire outlook on life. Many people wake up already burdened by stress, dread, or the pressure of what's ahead. But by taking just a few minutes to reflect on what you're thankful for, no matter how small, you change the filter through which you experience your day. It moves you from a mindset of lack to one of abundance, from complaint to contentment. The act of listing 3 things you're grateful for may sound simple, but it engages deep cognitive and emotional processes. When you do this consistently, you train your brain to scan for the positive. This isn't just a feel-good idea. It's supported by neuroscience. The brain has a negativity bias by default. It's wired to notice threats and problems. Gratitude practice interrupts this bias and strengthens the neural pathways associated with optimism, joy, and emotional well-being. Over time, gratitude becomes your new mental habit. Starting the day with gratitude is especially impactful because it sets the emotional tone for everything that follows. If you begin your morning appreciating the warm bed you slept in, the clean water you drank, or the message from a friend that made you smile, you carry that energy into your interactions, decisions, and mindset. It doesn't erase difficulties, but it gives you a steadier foundation to meet them. Gratitude helps you face challenges with resilience because you're already grounded in what's going right. Many people think they have nothing to be grateful for, especially when life feels hard. But gratitude doesn't require perfection or ideal conditions. It thrives in the ordinary. The softness of your pillow, the smell of morning coffee, the sound of birds outside your window, these are all worthy of appreciation. In fact, the more you train yourself to notice small blessings, the more your capacity for joy expands. It's not about ignoring your problems. It's about not letting them blind you to the good that still exists. One of the most effective ways to practice morning gratitude is to write it down. This could be in a dedicated journal, a sticky note, or even the Notes app on your phone. The act of writing helps solidify the thought and makes it more real. When you document what you're grateful for, you create a growing archive of positive moments to reflect on, especially useful on tough days when you need a reminder of your progress or blessings. It becomes a form of emotional insurance, cushioning you against future stress. Gratitude also improves your relationships. When you consistently acknowledge and appreciate the people in your life, you're more likely to treat them with kindness, patience, and respect. Starting your day by thinking of someone you're thankful for can shape how you communicate and engage throughout the day. It softens your heart and makes you more open to connection. This simple habit can improve not only your inner world, but also the quality of your external interactions. Incorporating gratitude into your morning doesn't require a strict routine. You might think of your blessings during a walk, while brushing your teeth, or as you sip your coffee. The key is to be intentional and present, to truly feel the appreciation rather than just ticking it off a mental list. Let it sink in. Let it change how you see yourself, your day, and the people around you. The more emotion you attach to your gratitude, the more powerfully it shapes your brain and your mood. What makes gratitude practice so transformative is its cumulative power. A single morning of gratitude might lift your spirits slightly, but many mornings of it can fundamentally shift your sense of self and life. You begin to realize that even on difficult days, there is still something to be thankful for. And that realization becomes your inner anchor, a quiet strength that helps you navigate uncertainty, stress, and change with grace and perspective. Visualization is one of the most underrated yet powerful tools for personal transformation. It's not just about daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's a deliberate practice that harnesses the brain's natural ability to influence behavior, mood, and motivation. When you take a few moments each morning to visualize your goals, you're essentially programming your mind to align with the version of yourself you're striving to become. It's a mental rehearsal that prepares you to take purposeful action, even in the face of resistance or uncertainty. The brain doesn't always distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. Studies in neuroscience have shown that imagining an action activates the same neural pathways as physically performing it. That means when you visualize achieving your goals, whether it's delivering a confident presentation, completing a workout, or having a meaningful conversation, your brain is actually practicing success. This strengthens your belief in your ability to succeed, which is critical because so many of us self-sabotage simply due to doubt. Morning is the ideal time for visualization because your mind is fresh, relatively free from distraction, and highly suggestible. In this quiet window before the world floods in, you have a unique opportunity to set the tone and trajectory of your day. Visualizing your goals in the morning helps you stay connected to your why, the deeper reason behind your efforts. When you're clear on the destination, it becomes much easier to choose thoughts, behaviors, and habits that bring you closer to it. Effective visualization goes beyond simply picturing the outcome. It involves imagining the process, what steps you'll take, what obstacles might arise, and how you'll respond. For instance, if your goal is to be more confident at work, you don't just picture yourself getting praise from your boss. You also see yourself walking into the meeting calmly, speaking clearly, and maintaining eye contact. You visualize not only the reward but the growth and effort it will take to earn it. This approach builds mental toughness and practical readiness. Another powerful dimension of visualization is emotional involvement. When you visualize a goal, it's important to feel the emotions associated with its achievement. Feel the excitement of crossing the finish line, the pride of completing a hard task, or the peace that comes with achieving balance. Emotion acts like glue for the brain. It helps cement the visual imagery into memory and increases the likelihood of follow-through. The more senses and feelings you bring into the visualization, the more effective it becomes. Visualization also helps counteract fear and anxiety, which are often rooted in imagined failure or negative scenarios. Instead of mentally rehearsing everything that could go wrong, visualization flips the script. It invites you to rehearse what could go right. That shift from fear-based thinking to possibility, focused thinking can dramatically change your attitude and energy. It fosters courage, optimism, and a proactive mindset. You stop bracing for disaster and start preparing for success. You don't need a lot of time for this practice. Even 2 to 5 minutes of clear, focused visualization can make a difference. You might close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and then picture yourself moving through your day with confidence and clarity. You might see long-term goals, a fit body, a published book, a successful business, or short-term ones like getting through a tough conversation with grace. Whatever the scale, the key is consistency. The more regularly you visualize, the more deeply your goals imprint on your consciousness. Over time, this habit changes how you think and behave. You become more aligned with your goals because you're reinforcing them daily, not just as vague hopes, but as vivid mental experiences. You begin to notice opportunities you would have otherwise missed. You start to make decisions that support your growth. Visualization transforms your goals from abstract ideas into lived mental experiences, and those experiences become blueprints for your reality. In a world where distractions are constant and demands are endless, clarity is a rare and valuable asset. That's why taking just a few minutes each morning to identify your top priorities can completely transform the way your day unfolds. It's not about cramming more into your schedule. It's about focusing your energy on what matters most. When you wake up and immediately clarify what your key tasks are, you start your day with purpose instead of panic. This small shift sets you up to be proactive instead of reactive. Without a clear sense of priority, many people fall into the trap of busy work. They answer emails, respond to messages, and check things off a list. But by the end of the day, they haven't made real progress on what truly matters. Planning your top priorities in the morning ensures that you're not just getting things done, but getting the right things done. You make intentional choices about where your focus goes, and that choice can be the difference between feeling accomplished and feeling exhausted. When planning your priorities, it's important to be realistic and selective. You don't need a list of 10 things, just 1 to 3 key tasks that will move the needle forward in your personal or professional life. This could be completing a major project, having a difficult but necessary conversation, or dedicating focused time to your health. The idea is to identify what would make the day feel successful if nothing else got done. This gives you a sense of direction and ensures you don't lose the day to distractions. This practice also combats overwhelm. So often we feel paralyzed not because we have too much to do, but because we haven't sorted out what actually needs to be done first. Planning your top priorities gives your brain an anchor. It quiets the noise and allows you to focus. Instead of starting the day with vague anxiety about a long list, you begin with clarity and confidence. You know what your mission is, and that makes you more efficient and less stressed. A useful technique is to tie your top priorities to a broader goal or value. For instance, if one of your long-term goals is better health, then a priority might be preparing a healthy lunch or scheduling a workout. If your aim is professional growth, your priority might be reaching out to a mentor or focusing deeply on a high-impact project. Connecting daily priorities to your larger purpose makes them more meaningful and motivates you to follow through even when it's inconvenient. Writing down your priorities, whether in a journal, planner, or digital app, further reinforces them. There's something powerful about putting thoughts into tangible form. It solidifies your commitment and creates accountability. Plus, it helps you track patterns over time. You may start to notice which types of tasks you tend to avoid, what consistently brings results, or when you're most productive. This awareness turns your morning planning into a tool for self-discovery and continuous improvement. Morning priority planning also improves time management. When you know what truly matters, you're better able to allocate your time accordingly. Instead of letting your schedule be dictated by urgency or other people's agendas, you protect space for the work that aligns with your goals. This creates a sense of control over your day, which boosts motivation and reduces burnout. You start to realize that being busy is not the same as being effective, and that focus is your most valuable asset. Ultimately, identifying your top priorities each morning is a form of self-respect. It's an act of saying, "My time and energy are limited, so I will use them wisely." It keeps you grounded in what matters and ensures that, no matter how chaotic the day becomes, you've already chosen your direction. This clarity is not only practical, it's empowering. It turns every morning into a moment of decision, and every decision into a step toward the life you actually want to build. Moving your body in the morning, even if just for a few minutes, can dramatically alter the course of your entire day. Physical movement wakes up more than just your muscles. It wakes up your brain, improves your circulation, and starts your metabolism. Morning movement isn't about intense workouts or chasing aesthetic goals. It's about signaling to your body and mind that you are alive, capable, and ready to engage with the day. Whether it's stretching, walking, dancing, yoga, or a quick workout, the benefits go far beyond the physical. One of the most immediate effects of morning movement is the release of endorphins, often referred to as feel good hormones. These natural chemicals boost your mood, reduce stress, and create a sense of well-being. Starting your day with even a brief burst of movement can lift your emotional state and provide a sense of accomplishment before you've done anything else. That feeling of, I've already done something good for myself, builds confidence and momentum that carries into your daily responsibilities. Movement also helps clear mental fog. After a night of sleep, your body may be rested, but your brain is still transitioning from a passive to an active state. Physical activity accelerates this process by increasing oxygen flow to the brain and enhancing cognitive function. This means better focus, quicker thinking, and improved memory throughout the day. It's no coincidence that some of the most successful people in the world swear by morning exercise. It's not just about fitness, it's about mental performance. Flexibility in how you move is essential. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment to reap the benefits. A 5-minute stretch routine beside your bed, a few yoga poses on your living room floor, or a brisk walk around your neighborhood are all incredibly effective. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. When you stop making movement a chore and start making it a ritual of self-care, it becomes something you look forward to rather than avoid. There's also a deeper, more emotional component to morning movement. It's a way of reconnecting with your physical self, of honoring your body and its capacity to carry you through life. We spend so much time living in our heads, thinking, planning, worrying, that we often forget to check in with the vessel that houses us. Morning movement invites you to inhabit your body again, to feel the tension in your muscles, the rhythm of your breath, and the strength in your limbs. It reminds you that you are not just a mind on autopilot. When you move in the morning, you set a rhythm that tends to carry forward. Physical activity boosts energy levels and reduces the likelihood of sluggishness or procrastination. You're more likely to stay active throughout the day, make healthier food choices, and remain engaged in your tasks. It's like lighting a fire early on. You stay warmer, more alert, and more resilient as the hours progress. And on days when motivation is low, the memory of how good it feels to move can be enough to get you going. Movement can also be meditative when done with mindfulness. Activities like walking, stretching, or flowing through yoga poses can serve as moving meditations, times when you breathe deeply, release tension, and let go of mental clutter. These moments of embodied presence allow you to start the day not in haste or stress, but in balance. They teach you to slow down, pay attention, and center yourself before stepping into the outside world. Incorporating movement into your morning doesn't have to be drastic or time-consuming. What matters is the intention behind it, the decision to nurture your body, wake up your mind, and invest in your energy. Morning movement sends a powerful message to yourself. I matter, my health matters, and how I start my day matters. That commitment, practiced daily, becomes more than a habit. It becomes a foundational piece of your identity and a cornerstone of a vibrant, intentional life. In a world saturated with noise, both literal and metaphorical, finding a few minutes of true stillness in the morning is more than a luxury. It's a necessity for mental clarity and emotional stability. From the moment we wake up, our lives are often filled with alerts, updates, conversations, tasks, and responsibilities. If we're not careful, we can be swept up in a current of chaos before we've even taken our first conscious breath. That's why intentionally embracing silence, even for a short time, is such a powerful practice. It allows you to center yourself before the world tries to pull you in every direction. Stillness doesn't always mean doing nothing. It can take many forms: meditation, deep breathing, mindful reflection, or simply sitting quietly with a cup of tea. The common thread is presence. In those moments, you're not trying to fix anything or rush through a list of obligations. You're just being. This pause in motion and thought allows your nervous system to reset, your mind to declutter, and your awareness to sharpen. It becomes a space where you can simply exist, without pressure, without performance. One of the greatest benefits of morning stillness is the way it reconnects you with yourself. Throughout the day, we often operate in response to others, answering emails, meeting deadlines, reacting to news, or managing family needs. But in silence, there's no one to impress, no task to complete. There's just you, and that simple presence can reveal what often gets buried: your thoughts, emotions, needs, and intuitive insights. In stillness, you listen not just to the world, but to your own inner voice. Physiologically, silence calms the body. It lowers blood pressure, reduces stress hormone levels, and enhances the function of the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision making and self-control. When you start your day with stillness, you're essentially rebalancing your nervous system before stress has a chance to hijack it. This makes you less reactive and more intentional throughout the day. You're not just moving through life, you're responding with clarity and calm. Stillness also creates a space for perspective. When you're constantly in motion, it's hard to see the big picture. Your mind is so consumed with micro decisions and immediate demands that it rarely has time to step back and reflect. But in silence, insights emerge. You might suddenly understand what's really been bothering you, or gain clarity on a decision you've been postponing. Often, the answers we seek are already within us. We just need enough quiet to hear them. The beauty of a silent morning moment is that it belongs entirely to you. No one else can interrupt it unless you let them. It's a private ritual that reminds you that you are in control of your inner world, no matter what the outer world looks like. You begin the day by honoring your own boundaries, setting the tone for how you'll protect your mental space in the hours to come. It's not about escaping reality, but about preparing yourself to engage with it from a place of peace. There's also a spiritual component to stillness, regardless of whether you're religious or not. Silence often evokes a sense of connection to something larger than yourself, to the present moment, or to a sense of purpose. For some, this might feel like communion with God, the universe, nature, or their own inner wisdom. Whatever form it takes, this connection provides grounding. It reminds us that we are not just machines built to produce. We are human beings with souls that need rest and space to breathe. Making space for stillness doesn't require a major life overhaul. You don't need to meditate for an hour or go on a silent retreat. Even 1 to 5 minutes of intentional silence each morning can have a powerful cumulative effect. Sit quietly before reaching for your phone. Breathe deeply before you speak. Listen to the quiet hum of the morning before the world fully wakes up. These moments are brief, but their impact is profound. Over time, they rewire your relationship with yourself and the world around you. The beauty of this practice lies in its simplicity. 10 minutes, that's all it takes to redirect the course of your entire day, and over time your entire life. In those quiet morning moments, you are choosing intention over autopilot, purpose over chaos, and growth over stagnation. You don't need hours of free time or a complete life overhaul. You just need the willingness to show up for yourself, day after day, with small, consistent actions that honor your well-being. Each of the habits we've explored, mindful breathing, journaling, gratitude, visualization, priority planning, movement, and stillness, are powerful on their own, but together they create a morning ritual that grounds you, empowers you, and sets a foundation of clarity and confidence. They are not just tasks to check off, they're investments in the person you are becoming. Transformation doesn't happen in grand, sweeping gestures. It happens in the quiet, repeated choices we make every day, especially in those first few minutes of the morning. The way you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows, so ask yourself, if you had just 10 minutes each morning to move toward the life you truly want, how would you choose to spend them?